Welcome back in. It's time for Motivation Monday. And last week, leadership expert, author, and speaker Pete Blank shared how travel can motivate us. But one place we never want to go to is the road to Abilene. Now, Sheryl Crow and George Hamilton IV might disagree with you. They had songs about Abilene. That's a reference here. Pete Blank joins us now, though, to share with us a motivational lesson about the Abilene paradox. Good to see you this morning, Pete. And what are we talking about here?
Apparently anything, Mike. But today we're talking about this concept. We're talking about this concept called the Abilene paradox. Now, this has been around since 1974 when Jerry B. Harvey was this management guy that came up with it. Let me give you the background story, and this is taught in like leadership lessons in classes forever. There's a family in the middle of the summer. They're sitting on a front porch in Cullman, Texas, playing dominoes. And it's hot. It's 106 degrees. The air conditioning doesn't work in their car. And one of them says, we ought to go to Abilene, which is 50 miles away, and get dinner there in Abilene. And someone else goes, I guess that's an okay idea. And someone else says, well, I'll go if you want to go. They drive to Abilene in 106 degrees, no air conditioning, get crummy food, drive all the way back. And when they get back to the front porch, they all go, well, I didn't want to go. Well, I didn't want to go. Well, I only went because you wanted to go. That's the Abilene paradox, my friend.
So we should glean from this that, you know, if you don't want to do something, let those expectations be known.
Right, and that's part of the lesson. It happens in organizations, Mike. It probably happens perhaps where you work. It happens in families where you get this sort of groupthink mentality and you don't want to let everybody down. Well, if you're saying you want to go, I guess I'll say that I don't want to let people down. So you start just kowtowing to the group, and what happens is you find out, in fact, the lead character in that paradox goes, well, I was just making conversation. I didn't want to go. I didn't want to go in the first place. So be careful when you just bring things up. But I think a good motivational lesson for us, like we talked about, Mike, is be bold and be courageous and speak your mind, especially in family issues, especially in workplace issues, because you don't want to create that whole idea of groupthink, and then you go down a path toward the Abilene paradox. No one wanted to do it in the first place.
But if the entire group is thinking one way, you are thinking another, does it make you kind of second guess, what you're thinking, what you're feeling?
Yeah, and there's two ways to look at it. One, when you think about groupthink, people are confident in their actions. Oh, Mike, I believe we should do this. So there's groupthink, we're all believing it. This example tells us, in my head, I know I don't want to do it, but I'm saying yes anyways. So you got two different things where I'm just trying to please as opposed to I think it is a good idea.
All right, some good words of wisdom there on the Monday Motivation from Pete Blank. Never knew we could
Don't
get
go
that.
to Abilene, my friend.
Don't
do not
that.
go to Abilene.
Exactly. Pete Blank, thank you so much. All right, still ahead.